Hey guys, this is Rob speaking, and in today's episode of Great Engineer, Terrible Driver, we are going to design a 2020 hypercar in automation and hot lap it in BeamNG.drive on the automation test track. What driver score will I achieve today? We shall find out. This is of course really tricky because there are not many car bodies that would allow you to build that in 2020. This one, of course, would be the kind of go-to option for still 2010 or something. And there is no body that's like super fits, but I think what I'm going to do is take the large 2005 coupe one. Yes, it is front engine, I know, but we are going to do something special with it. So let's select this one, 2.8 meters wheelbase. It doesn't need to be quite as agile as a supercar. It is more about the top speed, more about the brute force of it, more about the prestige than a supercar or light sports premium car or even track car. So I think I'm going to base my design off of this one. And yes, it is a hypercar, but still you need to be somewhat reasonable if you don't want to you want to preserve your margins, let's say it like this. You want to be able to sell this one at a 500% markup and still have buyers. So what we're going to do is go carbon fiber for the body panels, but then we are going with monocoque and glued aluminium and not carbon fiber. We could also go with lightweight AHS steel. That might also work out, but as you can see, the engineering time is actually a little lower for the glued aluminium, and we don't care about the limited production flag. Okay, that's our little chassis here. Monocoque glued aluminium with double wishbone front, pushrod suspension rear. Maybe you could argue that, okay, let's go double wishbone rear as well, or multi-link for added comfort. But pushrod, I believe, is the way to go. Although they do have the same sportiness rating if you really push them. Pushrod is lighter though, so yeah, let's go with that one. Okay, engine. That will be fun. What kind of engine are we going to use? I said I would make it somewhat special at least. Because it's front engine, there needs to be something in there that makes it special, right? So, yeah, we're going with the 16. We are going to with the 16. This one will be fun. And material costs not too high, that's fine. But this material is easier to work with. And the engine will be very labor intensive anyway. So what I'm going to do here is choose the Alsi block instead. And yeah, that's a bit of extra pricing there for the additional 6 cylinders over the V10 or 4 cylinders over the V12. Size, I'm not quite decided on yet, but around 7 liters, I believe, is a good size for this. Let's see, dual overhead cam 4, yes, it's 2020. 64 valves, just enough to get around. And the fill factor is still decent. Awesome, well there's still quite a few things to be added on top. But it's all good, it's all good. No VVL needed, we don't need that power down low, and we don't really need the economy either. And this just makes it horribly expensive, and it weighs a lot. I think we get around with just a forged steel one, maybe? Depending on how high we are revving. Let's try that first. Lightweight forged and lightweight forged. Compression, yeah, aim for something like 12 to start with, and then maybe an 88 cam profile. Very, very racy. Nah, let's go a little milder. It's a hypercar. It's not a tracker. It's a hypercar. So around 82 to 85. Let's set it to 85 first. Okay. Naturally aspirated. Yes, no turbos here. Fuel injection, direct injection, yes. Throttle per cylinder, yes. Performance intakes, yes. And then we go with 95. Oh shit, the fill factor is already rather high. And fuel mixture, probably something like 12.0. Yeah, should be good enough. Then 80 for ignition timing, maybe 85. A little bit of extra responsiveness. Revs, about 9k. I think I want to rev this to about 9,000. We'll take a look at the actual torque curve then, but this one should work out. And we are going with, it's a hypercar, so we go with race. Ooh, the fill factor. But yeah, fill factor, that's something you have to deal with. I mean, servicing costs for hypercars tend to be rather huge. Yeah, exactly. High flow catalytic converter. And it is a hypercar, so what we're going to do is double reverse flow, which is terrible for a hypercar, but then we go with bypass valves, which is a lot better for a hypercar. And we do have decent amounts of power. I think what I'm aiming for is 1,000 horsepower out of a naturally aspirated engine. So let's see if we can get there. Yeah, okay, the cam profiles up here don't really change the bottom too much. It just gets a little more peaky. We're already pretty close. We are pretty close. What does... Oh, I need to go for dual exhaust and optimize this a little bit. 995. Okay, we're getting there. We're certainly getting there. Straight through gives us exactly 1,000. Neat. And here, 1,006. What about the quietness? It's 60. Okay. That will affect comfort. So what I'm aiming for here is, yes, it is supposed to be sporty. And what happens is, like this, we wouldn't need bypass valves. They would not help you, apart from power delivery. And that is because the bypass valves basically make it such that loudness is set to 60 when you choose them, and when it's considered. So open is 60 loudness, and then closed is whatever you've chosen. So the closed version is used for the comfort test, like the cruise test. And this is currently 64, so that's meh. So what I'm going to do here is straight through and then reverse flow. You don't want to do it the other way around because the second muffler is a lot more efficient at dampening sound and causing you less harm to the engine exhaust flow than the first muffler, which is very much in the way. As you can see here, yeah, none helps a little bit. The difference in volume isn't quite as large as if you would do this the other way around. But I think this is acceptable. 1,000 horsepower exactly. That should be very drivable still. should be, yes. Are we set up properly? No, we can have a bit more compression. And let's optimize the timings as well. 106. Do we get away with dual reverse flow then? We do. Then we shall do that. Yes. I'm not worried about the conrods and cranks stressing out a bit. That is fine. The engine is is supposed to last forever, right? And the rest is looking decent as well. The hypercar demographic doesn't really care much about the reliability, so that's fine. One thing we can do here, though... no, engineering time is still pretty controlled. What you would do as a hypercar manufacturer in this instance, you would probably have some engine tech pool, and probably you would have an easy time reaching those figures, much easier time reaching those figures, because you already have a quality or tech pool of +5, so you would get to +7 at the cost of this. And +7 gives you a lot more in this. And it would make your bottom end, your ass becomes a lot more sturdy too. Yeah. No need for getting ridiculous numbers here though. Gotta check keep your timings in check for engineering time. That's enough. Let's keep it at 0. Let's keep it very reasonable. Alright. And I think we are done here. This is looking fantastic. No, of course we're not done yet. Sorry. First of all, you need to see it. Yes, it is beautiful. And then you need to hear it. I know, it would be heresy to not show that to you. Oh my god, yes, I can hear it already. Here we go. Okay. Yep, yeah, it's a decent sounding engine. It certainly sounds special. So, let's pick the coupe version of this. And I think also this is the most modern looking car body in the game currently for a hypercar build. So we can do something with this. Massive engine in front. What does our engine weigh right now? This must be heavy. Oh, and also, I have not tuned the ratio. Do we want to change that? This is... Yeah, I mean, it's a good build. It's a good build to go square. That is why BMW does that currently, because it's giving a pretty good engine efficiency around that 0.5 liter mark per cylinder. Gives you a very good compromise for all kinds of parameters. 1000 horsepower is very decent. If I increase bore, then valve float will set in earlier, and that is not what we want. If I make it over square, that is what I just did. If I make it under square, then instead the internals will die earlier, and the engine doesn't breathe as efficiently. You run into the air limits, the flow limits earlier. Now let's see what it does when we increase it slightly and decrease that. It's knocking slightly, but that doesn't... Oh, but that's a good sign, because that means we are making more power, and we have reduced the reliability issues quite significantly. We have increased the weight, though. It's not too bad. Yeah, let's continue mingling a little bit around with this, messing around with this. This is looking good. So we got a little bit more out of this. 1015 horsepower by going quite a bit over square. So better breathing overall. And still aiming for the 8 liters. That seems to be what you need without going crazy on quality to just get this running. Our components are certainly well chosen. Nothing is over-spec'd too much. 9200. We're revving it out nicely. It's good. You never want to stop too close to peak power. That just gives you poor performance. It might be worth investing some quality into the exhaust, because that doesn't up engineering time much, but it does allow you to get better loudness ratings. And, well, it's raised tubular exhausts, so that means... Oh, wait a second. Oh, this is nice. This gives it a bit more grunt down low, but nah, it's not really worth it. Not really worth it, K-Rob. The fuel system, direct injection per cylinder, that is a lot of extra costs and engineering time when you up that quality, so I'm not going there. And for the same, it's a V16. It is crazy when you do that for the top end. But the torque curve does look a lot better, drops off less towards our peak, so I think I'm going with +1. So that's all I'm going with. I mean... Most of you will probably just drag it up, like, oh, go for it. Nope, we are the sensible ones here. Okay, but now, for the car. Finally, for the car. We do need a bit wider wheel arches. Don't make them too wide, though. This already looks somewhat ridiculous. And I'm just going to morph it to be a little weird. a little weird. That's a little too weird. Nah, I think it would... Yeah, this looks quite nice. Apart from those things sticking out. There's something sticking out. There's a chassis sticking out. We will have to paper that over in our fixture build, I guess. Make that look fun. Although it's symmetric and it's looking fine. We can make this part of our design. That will be tricky, but yeah. Let's flatten this out slightly. All right, I think I'm satisfied with this shape. It's a little odd looking, yes, but now for the technical details. That should be reasonably straightforward. We need all-wheel drive. We need slushbox automatic. Now, dual clutch and 7 gears, yes, because we have a lot of top speed. What we're aiming for is 400 kilometers an hour. Now, let's see, we're gearing it for that. Estimated top speed currently 384. I think top speed needs to be set to something like 423. And then we go with a reasonably... Oh shit, yeah, first gear is not going to 100 there, but we might get away with this easily because we are using dual clutch and that shifting time is so low anyway. So we can get a very nice 80 to 120 time instead, all in second gear. Electric limited slip diff, and we are going with a power distribution of, we start out with 35-65. Radials, semi-slicks? Nah, sports compound, I guess. Okay, I believe that is about right. 720, 19-inch, 275 front, 305 rear. We might be able to push it a little wider at the front, depending on what our handling curve looks like. And we're going with carbon fiber material costs. No, they are a little high. We're going with alloy. It's unnecessary. Anything else is unnecessary. Carbon ceramic, yep. I think that might be needed because we're going with a hypercar. And that means, unless we are going with active aerodynamics, you will have a lot of trouble getting rid of brake fade. And that will kill our sportiness. So, carbon ceramic 4-piston. And let's go with 350s maybe to start with. This setup could work. 350, 300s, pad type 75. Yeah, 4-piston, 2-piston. Let's see how it works out. Now, aerodynamics. Yeah, well, this is not necessarily a track car. It is a hypercar. So, a bit more straight line performance rather than track performance. Although track performance, of course, still is important. We can't choose an active wing unless we put a wing on there. So let me quickly do that so that we can properly tune the aerodynamics. Alright, this could work out. The rear wing is a little funny, but I like that this line connects to the wing. That's fancy. And I'm going with a split front lip, like this. And I don't know how to make that work with design, but it certainly is a little unique, so let's try that out. And now back to aerodynamics. Rear angle, blah blah blah. Active wing, yes, I think we do need an active wing. How that would work with this one? No idea. Yeah, that's up to your imagination. Brake airflow, probably something like 50-ish. Let's see though. This adds engineering time for little benefit, but if there's any benefit to it, then for hypercars. So, cooling airflow. Probably want to run this a little on the edge. Maybe 45 or something. Rear wing angle, front wing angle, we decide that later. Now, seating. This is a 2-seater. Handmade and luxury HUD, the latest and bestest of technologies. Electric variable steering is, of course, electronic stability control and launch control. And advanced... Do we get away with... I think so. I think we get away with standard 10s. But now, active sports... Yeah? Do we want to go active sport or active comfort? Interesting choice there, really. Because, well, we're not going to off-road, that's for sure. But the comfort is quite important still. But I guess the drivability and sportiness combination still overweighs that fact. Semi-active, it's so easy to build a hypercar. You just more or less choose the best components. And yeah, we've hit it just fine even without tuning. So, where do we want to end up with ride height? Something like this. Probably looks alright. Yeah, that's cool. So now for tuning, graphs up, and we are a little slow. But that is because of the wings. Probably... Oh, yeah, that's not well set up at all. We do need less rear wing angle, as we are aiming for... Oh, no, we're getting very, very close. Very, very close. So the tiniest bit of downforce. So basically just to neutralize the car at high speeds. That's what I'm aiming for. And if we take away a little bit more cooling airflow, do we get to... Oh, so close. We're getting so close. 400. 402 kilometers an hour at 35 cooling airflow. And what about our brakes? Ugh. Oh, that's looking pretty awful. But we don't have any brake fade, so what we could do is lower the brake airflow. And that gives us a bit more top speed, of course. And do we have any troubles still? No, no troubles. Perfect. But what we might want to try out is go with vented disc instead. Holy shit, no, that doesn't work. That really doesn't work. Does it work in the rear? Nope. No, it doesn't. Okay, we need to go with carbon ceramic. Yeah. Let's see if we can make them slightly smaller, though. No, we can't. That is pretty much the perfect size. Slightly less pad. That works, but now we're seeing the fade come in. We don't want to go lower than 70. Oh, what I have not looked at yet is the handling graph. This is looking nice because that means that we can put more front tires on here. Can we make them equal? That would be fantastic. Yes, we can. Oh, neat. Okay. That even saves us a bit of money. Let's have a look. Combined material cost 6,000 versus, make this a tad smaller, 8,900. Oh yes. But oh no! We have lost so much top speed. Where's our top speed gone? Maybe we do need a few more extra horsepower to push the 400, because I really do want to reach it. The larger tires make it such that we are losing a bit on the top speed department, I guess. More friction. Because I don't want to go even lower with the reliability. You need to do high-speed runs, but only one high-speed run, and then cool down. So that should be fine. But engine, let's check it out. Oh, we are already at 1025. Need to be pushing it. Can't have a hypercar in 2020 that doesn't reach 400. A few extra horsepower. Now we're at 1044. Let's see if that is enough. Okay, well, then we just take to the quality slider in that case, because we are close enough to warrant that. I don't think it needs that much. So if we put in a little bit of quality here, we should see it increase, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. Get there, come on. 400.4. Yep. But now we need to check if a few ticks of quality here and there can improve what we are aiming for. Alright, yep, that doesn't go onto the engineering time either. And yeah, the engine is sure pushing a bit scary amounts of power now, but I think that's needed for the 400 right now. And I'm overall quite happy with the build. Let's check out the markets real quick. And it still counts as a supercar. It's affordable. Well, until you slap your markup on there. This is a really solid build though. Same affordability in Hyper and Super. Perfect. Yeah, widen your market, guys. Widen your market. Delua, do you like it? What? Ah, okay, they have the wrong affordability values. So, yeah, everything is 100 affordability. That's wrong. That's wrong. Even in Farina, they can still afford this one. The Hypercar buyers, at least. What we have not done yet at all is suspension tuning. So let's get that going. Because what you probably sometimes miss is that not all like super sports cars like this are really made for being ultra sporty. They are more or less a mix of a prestigious comfort car and as fast bonkers mode machine as possible. And that means that you have to compromise still on the comfort there. You need to have some decent comfort and decent sportiness, of course, but more sportiness than comfort. High drivability and everything, as you can see here. Comfort is basically just as important as the drivability of this thing. And there we go, that's a nice stat. Cornering 1.19 G, 100% sportiness multiplier, and 93% drivability multiplier, almost knocking at the 80 there. Solid! But now, what is missing is a little bit of quality here, maybe? Yeah, it doesn't amp up the engineering time too much. Just use it in moderation. That is a little too much. That's a few weeks too much. I'm happy with the 80 sportiness. And now, test track. Before we take it into the design studio, just yeah, let's get around it. Let's see how quick it is. Oh wow, yeah, 404 kilometers an hour, speed not found, and we have a 0 to 100 time of 2.5 seconds. That sounds proper hypercar in 2020. Quarter mile below 10 seconds needed, and more importantly, the 1 kilometer time 17.47. And of course, the weight is just what you would expect. Very heavy despite all the fancy materials. And power to weight ratio pretty high. Yep. So now, alright, let's get this going. How scary is this thing? Probably very. There, okay. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh, very tight gearing now. Oh. Still climbing. Wow, this just keeps going. And 300 kilometers an hour exactly before the slingshot. And to the line in 1:58.36. So now that we have that all established, let's get into designing this thing. After a long while, it's finally done. The Kingsguard Vortex. Oh, still selecting stuff on the screen. Sorry, like this. Better. Yes, much better. The Kingsguard Vortex. It's a car. It's a car. It has bulges on bulges and vents on vents, and it is labeled as the Kingsguard, like the good old hypercar. Yeah, I think it has some things going for it. It's not terrible. It's definitely not terrible. But I've seen better. I certainly have seen better. I like the reasonably simplistic design of the front. And maybe the rear is slightly too busy in comparison. But that might just be because the fucking chassis is poking through. And it would look a little cleaner without that. So give me a little leeway there. I think I made the wing work with the rear grille. Also having those slightly more squarish lines. Like the whole back. The whole back of this car looks more 80s. Whenever I see it, I just want to put an almost square grille on there and then just flange on top like 2 or 3 big round taillights. Because this is just so perfect for that. But yeah, I guess 2020, right? So they don't really do that anymore. I wanted to go with a bit of more modern style and changed around these, modified these taillights slightly. Yeah, but overall, I think it is good enough to warrant a King's Guard name. Oh yes. So let's switch over there. It is using the KV16 8-8 rather. The variant of the engine is the NAX 64. Okay, with that out of the way, let's export this beast. There we go, yes. Are we ready to push the button? I believe so. And there we have it, the King's Guard Vortex. Not quite as nice a color as an automation, but still, it's working. And I had discovered something, and that is that the brakes aren't quite porting over correctly, exporting over correctly. So what I had to do is to make a clone of the King's Guard. You will, as always, find the copy of it in the description below this video. And that is the original one without the changes. What I had to do is change the carbon ceramics into vented discs and thus lower the score a lot, because the carbon ceramics are not properly porting. Their thermals are completely off. They basically seem to be like about as cooling, self-cooling as drum brakes. So I couldn't even drive half a lap before the brakes were fading. And that is not really what this vehicle was supposed to do, according to automation. So what I did is installed much more fadey brakes, and now it's at least working pretty well. I can drive a full lap now without brake fade. So that should work, and this car is a fucking beast. So let's put it on the hot lap. Okay, I'm ready. Actually, what is astounding is that this vehicle is so well set up, or maybe it is just somehow cheating, but this is so well set up you don't need electronic stability control. It is actually phenomenal. The just perfect balance for the all-wheel drive setup. So yeah, I'm going to switch electronic stability control off for the hot lap. Oh my, no, oh shit, oh shit. Yes, full throttle. Oh, we only lost like 3, oh no, fuck. Oh, no, bad line. It's hard work, bear with me guys. Terrible driver at work. Oh no, shit. Oh, fuck. Let's go. Oh, warp speed. Stop. There's a corner coming. We're not quite ready for time travel yet. And okay. Smooth. Full throttle. And brakes. Can't go more than 150 through there. And smooth braking here. Come on. Yeah, we made it around. And full throttle again. And Caswell's carousel coming up. Brakes. Oh, yeah. Come on, move. Yes. Whew. Okay. Rear Daffy Flyer. And now towards the slingshot. This is scary. Need hard braking before that. Like here. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, that's on the safe side. And full throttle again. And early braking for this one. And smooth, smooth, smooth. That was a terrible line, but it worked. Come on, out of here. And already up to 200 again. And braking. Early braking, early braking. And second gear through Kirov chicane. And a little dirt. The tires on the asphalt. Oh, slidey, slidey. Oh, this is going fast. This is fast. And brake zone, come on. Take it easy. Yes, good, 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 good. And warp speed! There we go! And heavy braking towards Cossack corner. Oh, take grip, grip, grip. Yes, good. Good. And Lamb's Hope coming up. Ooh, ooh. Yes. Solid. Full throttle. And to the line. To the line and... Whoa, shit. Holy shit. Whoops. Oopsie poopsie. Oh. A 2 minute, 3 seconds, and 85. The Kingsguard Vortex. Yeah. This is its original form, and I'm pretty impressed. How the hell is this so drivable without any driver aids on? But I have the sneaking suspicion that something was on there, because it just drove so well. You should try it out yourself. Like always, the link is down below. You can download the car and try yourself, but I urge you to change the brakes before. Yes, so, in automation, this car did a 1 minute 58.36, and in BeamNG, I managed a 2 minutes 3 seconds 85, and that leaves me with an astonishing driver score of 95.6. I'm sure there are plenty of you who are easily beating that, but I'm quite proud that I somehow managed that after, like, how many tries? Like 10 tries or something? Finally got through. I finally managed to get through alive. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.